Happy Sunday. Hey, welcome into the Ryan Ripken Show pregame. Obviously, Ravens, Eagles kicking off at 4:25. But thank you for waking up with us. It is 11:03 in the morning. We appreciate it. We know it's a long ways away, but let's be honest. Once the 1 o'clock games start, everyone's watching football. It doesn't matter if you're just a fan of the Ravens, right? You're going to be tuning in. And just like for us, though, we got to make sure those lots are safe around the stadium there. We might have some more content coming your way later on this afternoon. But guys, happy Sunday. Huge slate of games. We do have a wild Rocco DeSangro that's going to finally make his way to the studio. But for now, it's just me and Zach, the normal duo right here. And Brad. Well, I don't want to – Brad can't be here today. The trio who's in here.
Yeah, it's going to be weird with I'm glad Rocco finally remembered that he can come to studio. So
yeah, how about that? How about that? And he can talk about his speeding ticket.
Yeah, tough scene.
The more you know.
Coming to this.
It is. You know what? But it's for the love of the show. He understands and he wants to actually remind people he still is involved with the Ryan Ripken Show. And if you guys are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. But Zach, I'm fired up for a few reasons. Yeah. Besides the fact that, the Ravens and Eagles are playing two of the best teams in the NFL, the Eagles who are red hot. Some could argue they might be the best team in the NFC right now. Mm-hmm. Their defense is playing as good as anybody. They have an MVP caliber player in Saquon Barkley in the backfield. They got a prolific offensive line, one of the best playmakers at wide receiver coming to Baltimore. Oh, but then the Ravens have a two-time MVP, Lamar Jackson. They have Derrick Henry, who's also another MVP offensive player of the year candidate in Derrick Henry, having possibly a career year. What else am I missing, Zach? Oh, and that the Ravens continue to usually find ways to rise to the occasion against football's best. Oh, and then if we're going to add one more thing, it's starting to feel like football weather. It is cold this morning here in Baltimore. I think it was 23 when I woke up, Zach. I got a ton of layers. Are you bundled up for this one?
Yeah, it's going to be – this is, like you said, this is football weather. These are the games that as a football fan, you circle because, like you said, you have Saquon Barkley, you have Derrick Henry. Remember – during the offseason, these signings were kind of downplayed. People were like, yeah, it's nice you had Derrick Henry. Yeah, it's nice you have Saquon. But it was the whole narrative of what does a running back really do? What's a running back's value? And now here we are, week 13, talking about how this is the game of the week. This is the matchup of the week. This is one of the matchups of the year. Like you said, Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley. These are the matchups that we've been waiting for, and this game's going to be so much fun.
Oh, for sure. And actually, I think what I love about this is that the teams have different styles, but there is some similarities. There's some places of strength on each team, Zach, and that's why we're drawing this comparison. We're not saying Jalen and Lamar are the same players. I just want to preface all of this, but they have similarities. Both the Eagles and the Ravens have dynamic quarterbacks. They have quarterbacks that can hurt you through the air and on the ground. You have two running backs that arguably are the top two backs in the league. And as far as rushing yards are concerned, they are. Yeah. Derrick Henry and Saquon are at the top of the list. They're home run hitters there. But then it's the whole feel around the game. These teams have the ability to be rostered and built to make a run in the postseason. Philadelphia is a really, really talented roster. So is Baltimore. Now, Baltimore, we know, has not put it all together defensively, except you could make the argument the last 2 weeks, Zach, they have started to maybe the light bulb is starting to flicker and turn on, which would be massive here. And the last thing I'll say, you know what I love about this game?
What?
These fan bases, man.
Yeah.
The Philly fans coming down, they're going to be coming into M&T Bank Stadium, guns a-blazing, red hot, fired up. But make no mistake, Baltimore is some of the best fans in the world. So this atmosphere is going to be electric, but it is a 4:25 game. Yeah. So we got a little bit of time. So we will get into all this. Am I missing something else on this intro?
No, not really. I think we've covered it all. And I like what you talked about with the defense, because this is kind of the game that we just talked about, all the weapons that the Eagles have. Yes, the Ravens have. The defense the past two games has begun to step it up. No touchdowns allowed versus Pittsburgh. Obviously, the 6 field goals lead to a loss that you're not feeling great about. But as a defense, you felt like they were starting to put it together. Then they come out, besides the first and last drive, garbage time at the end. You shut down a very hot Chargers offense, but now this is a different beast. The Chargers offense is good. Steelers offense has their moments, but this is Saquon Barkley. This is A.J. Brown. This is Jalen Hurts. This is a team that has the weapons to beat you in so many different ways. So this is the game. If you're Zach or if you're a fan of the Ravens, that you want to see that defense put it together. You want to see that defense go out there and look like a defense that can help you make a run at a Super Bowl, look like a defense that when you get to these big games against these prolific offenses, you can rely to go get you a few stops.
Some say it's all about the D, Zach. I think that's where you're going to. Sometimes it's just all about the D. And, hey, the defense for either team is going to have to step up today. Points are going to be – I still think with this cold weather, points are going to be a premium. Mm-hmm. You're going to have to be able to run the football. I know that we're thinking it could be a barn burner, which it might. But I also wouldn't be surprised if this becomes one of those ground and pound, you're trying to scratch and claw, who can be the first to score 3 touchdowns type of game. Might even be first to 20. I know I'm on the lower side here. We'll get to predictions later on. But for everyone tuning in, let us know where you are tuning in from. Obviously, we are live from Baltimore here. We're right down the road from the stadium. But let us know where you're tuning in from and hit that like and subscribe button. I am fired up, Zach. Fired up. But actually, I think where we want to start with this conversation, we're going to do some stats on the offenses. So why don't we bring in a little bit of a road opponent, know your foe type of situation, but everyone knows who A.J. Brown is specifically. But A.J. Brown was asked about these offenses specifically, and his answer is very spot on, but we want to hear it from one of the superstars for the Eagles. So, Zach, let's play that clip.
Is it comparable being in offenses with
man, it's definitely fun, man. Those two are home run hitters at any moment. And, they can take the game over at any moment. And just to have that in the backfield, that key component, that's huge for offense. Both of them are great, man. And,
So right there, he's saying it's fun. And if you think about it, the ironic part of it is, Zach, A.J. Brown and Derrick Henry were together. They had that type of duo down in Tennessee, but we know that wasn't that type of offense.
Yeah.
I mean, I know how I feel about Ryan Tannehill.
You know how I feel about Ryan Tannehill.
I know. That's why I think that they should have let him unleash it more, right? No, the biggest mistake, though, was they let A.J. Brown go, and they said, Derrick, you're going to do everything. Mm-hmm. And now A.J. Brown even felt like that was a lot of pressure. But now being on the Eagles, he goes, we have a good offensive line. A.J., you're going to get more favorable matchups, which he has because they run the ball well. And now for Baltimore, hey, Derrick, come here. You're already an elite back. You've already proven you're a Hall of Fame caliber guy. Hey, why don't you join the best running quarterback? And the guy, arguably, I'd say he's the most electrifying player in sports with the ball in his hands. Come join that backfield. We'll see how it goes. It's been pretty great. This is fun. This is a fun matchup here. But I will be honest here. A.J. Brown scares the hell out of me.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I mean, in a lot of ways. But one thing we're watching, how do you think, Zach, in this case, with the reports, Devontae Smith, probably – unlikely to see a lot of snaps if he plays.
Yeah.
Him not playing or playing is a massive difference because both those guys in my mind are, I would say it's a 1A. I know Devontae's considered a wide receiver, high-end wide receiver too, but he could be someone's number 1.
Oh, without doubt. I mean, when you go talent-wise, people seem to forget that Devonta Smith coming out of Alabama was seen as the next great wide receiver. He's a Heisman winner. I mean, this guy, the talent is through the roof. And if they didn't have A.J. Brown, I think you would be seeing the stats of A.J. Brown is what Devonta Smith would look like. I mean, he's got all the talent in the world. For him to be a number 2 option is such a advantage for them because when you have to worry about Saquon, you have to worry about double teaming A.J. Brown. Devontae gets those one-on-one opportunities, and he's going to win those. So if Devonta Smith doesn't play, it changes so much about this game because then I'm just telling Marlon Humphrey you're following A.J. Brown. The way the physicality Marlon plays with, I feel good about that. It's a lot easier to stop this offense if you don't have to worry about Devonta Smith. Now, stopping it still is a whole challenge in and of itself because you're still worrying about Saquon and A.J. Brown. But now it's easier to say, okay, we can focus on these guys without worrying about, like you said, Devonta Smith, who could be a number one on maybe half the teams, if not more, in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
he's going to go wild on us. So it does take a little bit of the pressure off the defense, and you can really hone in on stopping those two.
And here's the thing. A.J. Brown did miss some games, right, this year with the hammy. I mean, actually, he played the first game, went off versus the Packers over in Brazil. And 119 yards, 5 catches, 1 touchdown. Then he missed a month. And then since he's come back, he's really only had 1 dud of a game. And that was a win they had against Jacksonville. He had 2 catches for 36. But, Zach, here are the other numbers for him. 5 for 89, 5 for 84, 6 for 116, 5 for 109, 5 for 65. And then last week against the Rams, 6 for 109 and a touchdown. The dude's just a beast. And more times than not, he's going to get his. But I'll tell you what, man, Devontae's out. I'm putting 2 or 3 around A.J. Brown at all times. At all times.
Yeah.
He's a good player, man. There's a lot of good, talented players on the field. But as we know, that is something that they're going to try to attack. But we also do know in the other case, and this is where we're going to go to the offensive comparisons here for all of you guys. So we know Baltimore right now, they lead the NFL in total yards per game. 426.7 to be exact, if you want to do that, if you're into that type of thing. You want to round up, it's 427. Yeah, if you're a stats guy. Baltimore, as we know, their rushing game, second to none. Actually, I lied. It used to be second to none until Saquon Barkley, what he did to the Rams. The Eagles jumped Baltimore in that process.
Mm-hmm.
I was shocked because I thought I had this right on the notes. The Eagles now are the top team because Saquon put up 300 million yards against the Rams. Seems like the Giants could use him, by the way.
Yeah, that's for sure. It seems like the Giants could use a lot.
I don't know. I thought they had the right formula. You go to your backup quarterback. It was Daniel Jones' fault alone there. Yeah. Can't run the football, but you know, can Philadelphia, 193 yards per game. Baltimore's 180.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest matchup, if we're not even talking about that A.J. Brown, that's what we're saying could be an X factor. It's obviously going to be around, is Saquon Barkley unleashed? If he runs like he did against L.A., I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
Philly's winning this game.
Mm-hmm.
But Baltimore, on the other side, they're very good. If there's one thing Baltimore's been good against, it has been against the run, Zach. It has been against the run. This is the biggest test so far.
Oh, without a doubt.
And to give even more perspective on that, Baltimore is second in the NFL, allowing under 78 yards on the ground. So I'm very, very interested to see. That's where my mind's going here, Zach. But finish your point. What you got?
Yeah, I was going to say, this is the biggest test by far, obviously, against Saquon Barkley and the league's best rushing attack. So the defense is going to have to step up. Getting Roquan Smith back, assuming he's going to play, it looks like it. That is bigger than anyone can even imagine, because if he's healthy, that run defense is a completely different animal. The way that he's able to fill gaps, the way that he's able to go make plays behind the line of scrimmage, and he's got the build to where I trust him one-on-one with Saquon Barkley. There are a lot of guys that one-on-one with Saquon, you're like, this is over. I trust Roquan Smith can at least make the play. Mm-hmm. Don't know if he's going to lay the wood, do anything crazy, but at least I trust Roquan to not completely get embarrassed like Saquon's been doing to so many this year.
I mean, and Saquon, again, it's always advantage Saquon if it's a one-on-one situation. Oh, yeah. He's that special. However, it is nice when you have your linebacker that is known for just laying the wood, being in a spot, and not allowing extra yardage. Like, that's the biggest thing. Don't let Saquon get a wide open seam, hole, whatever you want to consider it. And also, if you're able to get a body on him, don't let him bounce off and continue to make a big play. Now, I will say it was awesome, Zach. Malik Harrison, for all the haters to Malik Harrison, he just brushed them away last week. Honestly, that was his career game for him. That was fantastic. And bravo. Bravo. It's amazing. Yeah. Round of applause here. It was great. But we know they're going to need to do more to be able to contain. And this offensive line for the Eagles, they're going to be pretty physical. That's just what they've done. That's been their MO. So we understand a little bit what's going to happen on the offensive side for Philly now, right? Mm-hmm. Let's go to the other side. And just this morning on NFL Countdown, Alex Smith, former quarterback, talked about this matchup here, but he specifically was explaining of how this team for the Eagles has turned into an MVP contender, and it's because of two pieces. We just talked about Saquon Barkley being one, the other one being this defense. So, Zach, let's play that clip.
Off-season acquisitions for the Eagles have absolutely made them legitimate contenders. Obviously, Saquon, and we're talking about him, the most explosive back in football. But Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator for the Eagles.
Yes.
I mean, this was one of the worst defenses in football last year, 26th in the NFL. They're number one. Number one right now, right? Rex, I understand why you're so excited about this game. You pair one of the best backs in football, the fewest pass attempts from anybody, and then one of the best defenses, right? They are legitimate. They can play with anybody, right? This roster is so well constructed. And then you get the looks in the pass game. When you're a quarterback and you run the ball like that, ready your tape, right? You're throwing slants for 50 yards, right? They're uncontested. They're a tough matchup.
So they're a tough matchup. But the bigger thing here on the other side, and there's some history, obviously, with Vic Fangio, with the Ravens and John Harbaugh and all of that. If we want to remember back to the Denver Broncos game when Fangio was the head coach there and the Ravens to continue their streak, hey, says a little gamesmanship. Hey, you don't like it? Stop it. Maybe that's how people feel about what happened yesterday with flag planting.
There was a lot of don't like it, stop it yesterday in college football.
Yeah, don't like it, play better. We'll get into all that during our little break of what's been going around this weekend in our Crushing It segments. But to go with this defense, because that's the part we want to go to on the other side. Philadelphia has been very stout since the earlier weeks. Honestly, you can say after their second loss, it just seemed like they were starting to put it together. Now, them stopping the run, they're not as elite as the Ravens, but they're in the top 10.
Yeah.
So they're allowing less than 100 yards a game. The biggest thing for them is that their pass defense has been very, very solid, very, very I keep saying the word stout, but it's been very consistent, I think, is the big part here, Zach. And they are being a little bit more turnover friendly. Yeah. They have been able to force more on the season now. They're starting to pick it up a little bit. It was slow to start. They're at 14 middle of the pack. But lately, they have been forcing into long situations, getting the team off the field. And then like the Eagles have done because of their system, Jalen Hurts in that win versus the Rams threw 22 times. Defense gets off the field. They run the football. They keep Matthew Stafford and the Rams at bay. That's their formula if they want to play clean football, like ideally.
Yeah.
And they're good at it.
Yeah. And then, their defense, it starts with Jalen Carter in the middle. He's the disruptive force on the defensive line that is the Ravens need to stop him. It all starts with him. He disrupts the run game. He disrupts the pass game. Then you go in the secondary, and like you talked about, it's such a difference this year. And you talk about the rookies, Quinyon Mitchell, the first-round pick. They go Cooper DeJean in the second. Those guys are stepping up. It's not just some guys are taking a second-year leap. These guys are rookies coming in, and they are playing like top-end corners. And especially with Darius Slay, it looks like he's going to be out. They're going to need those guys to continue today to put up those type of numbers and to kind of limit the Ravens offensively if they're going to win this game. I mean, these guys are playing out of their mind. They're probably two of the top rookies when you're talking defensive rookie of the year. So, yeah, the Eagles got a lot of young stars on that defense, and they can be good for a very long time.
Very long time. And I just saw the message, obviously. Rocco is finally here. And you guys can give him all the crap in the world here. The guy, speeding ticket. He then is running 20 minutes late. We still don't feel comfortable giving him a key to the building yet. So, it's for our regulars, right? But in all seriousness, Rocco's going to join us here in a second. But to the point here, look, Eagles are a good team. And I see the comments here. Look, I get it. Hey, the Ravens, I'm not going to try to pronounce that name just in case. But the point being, hey, the Ravens usually just stomp NFC teams. Well, that is true. They are very good. Lamar Jackson, the only person that could beat Lamar Jackson is no longer a starting quarterback in the NFL right now. That's Daniel Jones. When the Giants beat the Ravens, that's Lamar's only loss against the NFC. So that's working in their favor. But this one seems a little bit, I feel like this is going to be a little bit different. I think the Ravens, obviously, I feel like they're going to win this game. We'll get into that later on. But it just has that type of feeling of being a game that you are going to want to sit and watch for 3 hours. You're not going to want to move. You're at the game. You're staying all the way through. And if you're at home, you're not taking your eyes off that television screen. So we will see what happens there. And maybe this is a good time as we recollect ourselves here to remind everybody, hey, enjoy your Sunday. This is all about having fun, getting your drinks. Laura, I saw you're getting ready for your tailgating. We're going down to the lots to make sure it's safe for everybody else here after the show ends. We're going to have our Deep Eddy vodka flowing. That's our thing. We're crush people here in Maryland. And coming around the holidays, we are going to be having some specialty cocktails that we will introduce. And I think I saw Mama Kelly here. Yep. So thank you, Mom. Appreciate you. And you know what? Always love when parents support. I'm terrified. She's going to bartend for us here. That's been a request from the group, from our regulars. Don't you worry. She's coming in the studio and going to make that happen. And I will say, guilty, I am not the best at making drinks. You guys have seen it happen. I've had the crusher out here. Not my forte, but I do make it happen. So we will see what happens. But it should be a good one. It's going to be a cold one in Baltimore. This is going to be the first true cold game here in Baltimore. The weather has finally changed. And I guess some people, if you like the seasons, well, guess what? You finally got what you wanted here. 2 weeks ago, it was 70 degrees. Right now, it is 23 degrees. It will heat up just a tad, but it just feels like it's going to be a very physical game. I think that's going to be a lot on the ground. Should be fun. And, Steve, it is December, too. Happy December 1st. Christmas is in 24 days. We had Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving. I know that that's a whole debate here. My fiance, she loves to decorate before. Who am I to stop her happiness, right? So I'm curious with other people here where you stand on Christmas designs, not Christmas designs. It's just a fun conversation to boot. But, guys, the Ravens are not the only game here that has a lot of interest for Baltimore, right? The 1 o'clock window has one specific game that is very important to both the Ravens and other teams in the AFC. And that's that Bengals-Steelers game here. 2 reasons. We know Pittsburgh currently has a half-game lead on Baltimore, but that's a game that Cincy has to win. Cincy doesn't have any room for error. And if you guys have seen Cincy's losses, we've seen a lot of them. The Ravens fans, we've seen 2 of them. It's a game they must have. And if they're able to do that, it's going to get very interesting. You can hear Rocco's laugh in the background as there is some chaos behind. But that Ravens-Bengals or that Steelers-Bengals game has a lot on the line. Those Steelers lose that game, Baltimore has the opportunity to leapfrog going into the bye. Right? Going into the next Ravens week, bye is next week. Week 14, yes, the final one. I'm not losing my mind.
Nope.
They'd be in first place with a win over the Eagles.
Yep.
And then the Bengals have to win. They have to win to have any type of chance here. And they're trying to catch the Denver Broncos here for that last playoff spot. So it should be interesting. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We're getting pumped up for this Sunday preview. Ravens, Eagles. We talked about it before, but we're getting you ready for your Sunday. So let us know how you're waking up, where you're tuning in from, and what we should talk about besides, what's going to happen here in Baltimore later on. We got some fun things, but I know everyone was worried, Zach.
Yeah.
Rocco made it. He's not in jail. Congrats on your speeding ticket, buddy. Everyone knows. Really good. Really good.
Do you want me to talk about it?
Would you like to talk about it for a little bit of break?
I'm so pissed off.
So by the way, Zach, this dude calls me. Like, I think you called me right after it happened. I'm thinking, all right, there's like a clock I have. Rocco can't call before 9 p.m. or a.m.
Yep.
Called it like 8:20.
Yeah. And
I go, hey, like, you good? Because I thought it was an emergency. And I guess it kind of was.
It was an emergency. Yeah.
And you just said, hey, I'm on my way. Speeding ticket, $200. First off, let's get the story, but how fast were you going, man? Because you know what? I'm glad he pulled you over. You're a danger to society.
Lovely New Jersey state trooper said that I was going 87 and a 55.
Wow.
I was definitely speeding.
Oh
I don't think I was going
God.
87 and a 55, though. But, like, I was going with the flow of traffic
Rocco
just a
would
little
say that
faster
too.
on the turnpike, and I was trying to get a head start. So that's on me. My bad. And, all respect to the state trooper that pulled me over. He came from this side. So, like, the Jersey Turnpike, it's set up in, like, 2 sections, as you know. You have 3 lanes on one side. You have the guardrail. Then you have 3 lanes on the other side. I saw him coming up the left side hot on this side. So I was on the right side. He was on the left side of the sections, but I was in the left lane. So he starts coming up hot. I'm like, oh, shit. I think I may have messed up here.
You
So
think?
it was after I passed a few cars and I saw him speeding up, and I was thinking in my head, I was like, this guy's not going to do what I think he's going to do, is he? And he did. So I got over in the middle lane. I slowed down, just was like, maybe this guy's not going to pull me over. He gets over.
No
he
doubt.
like cuts across, waits for that opening, gets over, immediately gets behind me, pulls me over. And I have a clean record until today. So
he just say here
he was like, no, he was very nice. He didn't give me any points, which was nice. He then said he said, we're going to bump it down, give you 75 and a 55.
Wow, that's nice. A team player.
Yeah. So
big wins.
But yeah, I got to pay a $200 ticket. It's on me. Then, it is what it is.
It is on you, but you know what?
Wait, real fast, Rocco. How did you tell me you plan on paying these?
I put, I might have a problem. I put a little bit of money on a John Mechie anytime touchdown because the odds are just
we're in the elevator and Rocco goes, but I know how I'm getting.
So listen, if John Mechie scores today, which is like the odds are very low, I'm going to be able to pay my ticket without having to dip into the checking or savings account. But Justin Jefferson also, if he scores 2 touchdowns, same thing. So
just sprinkle it on there.
Like Mark Andrews.
That was the other part, Zach. In the call this morning at 8:20, it was after that. He goes, man, $200 speeding ticket. I go, dude, get here when you get here. It's okay. And he goes, hey, don't worry, John Mechie's paying it off today. And I'm like, okay. And I hang up and I go, did he just say John Mechie from the Texans? Like that's what all in one sentence after. So all good. You're a good kid.
By the way, I thought it was a 65, so that's also on me. I didn't see it was a 55, but it was a Jersey Turnpike. So like I thought you could it was like the Autobahn, you could drive as fast as you want and just. I
just got to say, if that officer ever watches this, thank you. But you know what?
Yeah,
you should have hauled him away.
I should have gotten points on my license. I appreciate him for not doing that, and the day goes on. But not a great start to December. My Sunday, and glad football's on today.
Football, and there's a lot of football here, and we're excited about it. So we appreciate you guys tuning in with us to get you ready for this NFL Sunday. We're about an hour and a half away from the early games, and we learned in the past here, when 1 o'clock starts, we're done. Why? People want to watch football, or people are getting to the lots because you know what? There's a big game at 4:25. Baltimore, Philly, kicking off. Huge matchup here. Looks like Philadelphia is pulling away in the NFC East, but obviously they can pad their lead or keep it stable over the Commanders with the victory. And for the Ravens, they're trying to catch up with Rocco's Steelers to see what happens here.
Yeah.
You know what? Honestly, now that Rocco, it can be talked about here, it even makes it more fun because does
everyone know?
I mean, most people know.
Okay.
Now they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everyone knew.
To my defense, I never said I was a fan of the Ravens.
But you also do support to at least is the only thing I'm going to say nice about Rocco. He actually has a love for Baltimore because of being here, and he wants the teams to do well. Specifically, you're actually kind of an Oriole fan now. He is an Orioles fan now. He's converted.
Here's my thing with the Ravens. If I was here 10 or so years ago when it was Roethlisberger, Palomalu, or probably longer than that, and then Suggs, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, there would have been a lot of smack talk because that's when the rivalry was at its peak.
Would you have planted a flag at M&T Bank?
He so would have.
Probably. And when I was 12-year-old Rocco would have gotten my ass kicked by real Fan Dan or someone, but it is what it is. Would have been worth it.
Yeah.
But I have, in the 2 years that I've covered the team, I have a genuine respect and, love for the franchise and what they're doing. And it's, it's not like scoring brownie points with this fan base. It's basically just, Nick Moore, a lot of those guys over there, interviewing them, talking, doing them, seeing how they go about things, seeing how the organization's run. It's really cool. It's cool to see. And you can't not respect it from the outside looking in. And then when you get in there and talk to these guys, you're like, damn, this is really a well-oiled machine, and they work their asses off.
Yeah. And the thing too is you get fired up when you're a part of a place, wherever it may be, right? You care about it. Just like people I'm from Baltimore. Everyone knows my ties. There's no secret there. I got drafted by the Nats, right? Yeah. I got love for the Nationals. They gave me my start. I want to see them do well completely, and if they go on and win the World Series when they did in 19, I was so happy. I know a lot of people that are involved with the organization. I love when they have success. I do.
Yeah.
Right. But I mean, I'm a Baltimore guy. Just like
Course.
you're here, you're a Baltimore, you're becoming a Baltimorean.
I have a home
you're
in
a
Baltimore.
but you're a Baltimorean.
Yeah,
That's a whole different thing.
I'm a moron. I'm getting to be a Baltimorean as well. So that's,
yeah, you're a good kid.
It's a great city, man.
I don't care
love it here.
what the chat says about you. You're a good kid. But we appreciate all of you guys. And before we get back into talking about this Sunday in general, what do we got now? What happened?
Brooks, you're my guy. I love you, buddy.
Whoa, there
That's
it
my
is.
dog. Yes. Maybe I can cash out that Mechie anytime touchdown ticket now.
You know what? That's where it's going towards right there. That's where the money's actually going, Brooks. It's not going to Rocco paying it. It's going for a bet that could get more money from
my
winning.
Goodness. Love you guys.
We got a great
Brooks, you're the
community
man.
here. We got a great
Shout out to
community. And if you guys want to be a part of it, click that join button. We do this live every Monday, Thursday, and when the Ravens play. So tomorrow, 3 p.m., that's where our time is right now. We're going to be live reacting to the game, talking about what happened on NFL Sunday and beyond. We also cover baseball for those that don't know. So we are having a Hot Stove Wednesday. It's going to be kind of like a happy hour that we're going to continue on here moving forward because that's our one day dedicated to just football. Monday and Thursdays, one day dedicated towards baseball. Mondays and Thursdays are mainly going to be football because that is the hot topic. We got some news coming up here that, let's just say, the Ryan Ripken Show is going to be in a place that is going to be a hot spot for baseball activity. And I will let you guys know that on a future date here. But make sure you like and subscribe and join the community. We have a great one. The Discord is unbelievable. There's a Discord group where everyone that's a big sports fan in general, they care about each other. You guys should check it out. We'll try to get that link in there. And before we continue on with this, we got to give props to one of our OG sponsors here. It's Adams Jeep of Maryland. And like always, I have the hardest time trying to pull this up here, but here we go. Ready? 3, 2, whammy.
One time he's going to get it.
Whammy.
There it
is.
That's
Second
just
time's
a
a charm.
little
Let's go,
delayed.
baby.
But Adams Jeep of Maryland, it's our proud sponsor, OG sponsor, helped us continue to build here. They are 5 minutes from the Ironbird Stadium here. And look, you need anything with your car, they are the go-to guys. And if you get a used vehicle and you want to buy one, used or new, and you use the phrase Rocco sucks, you tell Chuck and Matt that, they're going to give you $500 to $1,000 in gas money with purchase of said vehicle. But here's the next part here we haven't talked about. They're not just talking about Jeeps. They got something going on called Adams Extreme Motorsports, which just means if you are in the customization business and you need to get, I don't know, you want to get your car decked out, like down at the tailgate lots, there's a decked out Jeep.
Oh, yeah.
They're your go-to customization place, but you don't have to be a Jeep. You can be a Chevy, Honda, Toyota, whatever it may be. And also they got a great deal going on. You get tires, 3 tires you buy. The 4th one is just $1 hair. So go check out our sponsors, Adams Jeep of Maryland. We appreciate you guys. Fellas, it's a great question. Can I do 87 and a 55 in an Adams Jeep asking for a friend?
Never going to live this down.
You really do have a way of making a great comeback to the show, though.
I mean,
whenever you come back, there's something going on.
I like to come back with a bang. Do you think since Chuck technically like at Adams Jeep, they use like my name, image, and likeness for
No.
the better of their, they can, do you think he'd like maybe lend a friend $200 for just not me, just I'm saying like in general, somebody for their $200 speeding ticket that they got on Sunday, December 1st on the New Jersey Turnpike?
Womp womp.
How about no? Brock.
It was worth a shot.
It was worth a shot.
Worth a shot.
You know what is worth a shot?
What's that?
Talking about this game.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about the Ravens. Talking about
Wow.
the Eagles. We'll get into some more about these 1 o'clock games here in a second, but I think it's a good time. One thing that it's always a narrative. It's 3 things you can count on in this world: death, taxes, and we're going to dispute Lamar Jackson's legacy as a quarterback every damn week. Someone's going to say something. Instead of it just being like, hey, he's one of the best quarterbacks we've seen. He's going to go out there, and we should just embrace the greatness for these players. But here we are, and we're going to talk about it. Ryan Clark was on talking about Lamar Jackson in this game against Philly. In this case, just like we've kind of heard similarly, but Lamar needs to win this game to really cement himself as being an MVP candidate. So Zach, let's play that clip.
Yeah, so the big thing for me is this. this is the Lamar Jackson MVP game. This narrative is being built to put Josh Allen at the top of the MVP race because he's the one great quarterback that we talk about amongst that trio of quarterbacks in the AFC that hasn't won one. But make no mistake about it, Lamar Jackson is playing the best football at the position right now. This is the game that Lamar Jackson has to go out and prove it. You're playing against a team that has a better defense than yours. You're playing against a team that has a running back comparable to yours, right? We've seen you against the Kansas City Chiefs. We've seen you against your biggest rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now you're playing a team that's supposed to have more than what you have. Go out and prove that you're the best player in the league. Go out and prove that you're a quarterback that can go not only above the X's and O's, but go above the total roster. And if you're Todd Monken, put it on Lamar Jackson. And I'm not saying don't give the ball to Derrick Henry, but if it's 3rd and 11 like you get against the Pittsburgh Steelers, Lamar Jackson, and they call a pass and you got an opportunity to rush for it, go use your legs and get it. Go above and beyond what anybody else has ever done at the position because that's what we've seen you do throughout your career. We want to see it in the big game. To me, this is very much like we watched Lamar Jackson last year against the San Francisco 49ers, where he had to be Superman. Cam has done this before. He knows how important these big games are when your roster may not be totally better than the other team, and I've watched him go above the X's and O's in the roster. That's what Lamar Jackson has to do this weekend.
Okay. All right. So just a thought here for a second. What do we consider a big game? Is it just going to the Super Bowl, or can you have big games before the Super Bowl?
Can absolutely have big games before the Super Bowl.
So did Ryan Clark did just reference last year's game against San Francisco.
Yeah.
So he referenced that. And he's talking about you got to rise up against the team that have more talent. Fair to say, guys, arguably this is the most talented Ravens offense as far as pieces that he's had in his career.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt.
Right?
Hands down.
And now in that case, the Ravens defense is probably the worst it's been at the moment in the last 3 to 4 years.
Just crazy to think, but yes.
Right? So where is this? So was the game against, I don't know. Those Bengals games, were those important in division? Those important games?
Yeah.
Okay, primetime game there. Last year playing the Lions, was that important? The Bills game this year, was that a big game? I know Josh Allen, and I love Josh Allen, man. He deserves right now. I would give him the head in front of Lamar because of what the Bills are doing, and I don't think that his numbers are better than Lamar's because statistically they're not. But if you're going to play that game, Josh beat the Chiefs, but then Lamar's already had those games, so there's nothing different. The bigger thing here is not about cementing Lamar. It's really Ravens win this game, they're going to be in a position to win the division. That's my biggest thing. Lamar doesn't have to prove anything for me in the regular season that he can win a big game, right? I think the narrative's just going to go. I mean, Rock, maybe you want to talk on it. I think this narrative's just going to go around it until Baltimore gets to the Super Bowl, and we're going to continue to have this conversation. Last thing I was thinking, who was the other quarterback? 3. He said there's 3 that have proven it in the AFC. Are you saying because Joe Burrow went to a Super Bowl? Because Joe doesn't have an MVP. Josh Allen doesn't have an MVP. The only one that my mind continues to go back to has been the best team in football over the last 5 years. Patrick Mahomes.
Maybe he's talking about Joe Flacco.
Yeah, you know what? That's what it was.
Flacco.
It was Joe Flacco.
Yeah, Joe Flacco.
It was Joe Flacco. It's Joe Flacco. But Rock, I mean, I think, or Zach, I think that's the point we keep having is it clearly just keeps going back to the Super Bowl, but that's going to come with time. This is just a game that the Ravens need to win, but this does nothing to make or break Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and I agree in some capacity with what Ryan Clark's saying, and the fact that for this year's MVP, I think this is the game that kind of like last year's, I like the reference to the 49ers game. If Lamar goes out and has an incredible game, he puts on a Jackson 5, throws 4 touchdowns, whatever it may be, he retakes over the bona fide front runner for the MVP. I agree with that. But like you said, there are these narratives over and over of, hey, Lamar Jackson isn't winning these big games. He has in the playoffs. No, I think we can all agree. He hasn't won them consistently in the playoffs, hasn't beaten the Chiefs, can't beat the Steelers recently. So I get those arguments. But when we're talking about, cementing the MVP, he's a 2-time MVP. There doesn't need to be anything cemented there. He's already the 2-time MVP. For this season, if he goes out there and puts on a show today, he beats Saquon and Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, then I think there is that argument of, okay, he's locking down the MVP and it's now his to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like we always talk about, it is a what have you done for me lately league. It's the reason why, even
Recency bias. Yes.
It's the reason why, even though Josh Allen's stats, like we've said, aren't better than Lamar's, he just beat Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes. So what's the narrative going to be? It's that Josh Allen's the best player in football because he just had that big win. Ravens beat the Eagles, who are right now the hottest team in football, besides probably, I think, the Lions. Suddenly, that narrative looks a little different.
I compare it to that of the Heisman. And I'll say this, when there could be a player that's front runner, leader of the pack all year long, doing everything right, stats are out of control, like next level, and they look incredible. And then you compare them to players in the past, you're like, wow, this dude is just blowing the other player's stats out of the water. It's insane. Then you get the championship week, because that Heisman vote, you don't have to cast that vote until after the championship games, the conference championship games are over. That player lays a goose egg, conference championship Saturday, that player might not get as many Heisman Trophy votes as the next player. And there could be a player that got hot that throws for like 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. It was maybe like the third. That's like, and I'm not trying to get into college football, NFL right here, but that's why I always go back to this quote with Justin Houston a few years ago when he was on the Ravens talking about Lamar Jackson. He compared the criticism that Lamar Jackson gets day in and day out to that of LeBron James. He said, whatever this dude is doing, it's like he can't do it right. And it adds fuel to the fire. And Lamar's a fired up dude. Like, I love the passion. When he gets tackled short of a first down, he gets up, he smacks his hands together, and he's thinking in his head, like, what the hell? That should have been a touchdown. Or what the hell? That should have been a first down. Like, you can see like the motor's going and how motivated he is and how much he wants to win. And we talked about how vocal he was at the beginning of the year. He wants his teammates to win. He wants it for the city. That's been his goal since he got here. So Lamar's always going to get, I don't want to call it hate, but it seems like hate from the outside, looking at it, because it's like whatever Lamar Jackson does, he can't do right by the rest of the NFL. And that's why the rest of the NFL, they look at Ravens fans and they're like, oh, like, you're riding too hard for Lamar Jackson, like this, that, and the other thing. It's like, because these are the people that watch this guy every single Sunday, Thursday, Saturday, sometimes Friday. I say any day that ends in Y, and see how talented and how good he is. And they know he can bring this franchise another Super Bowl. So for Lamar, man, it's always going to be like that. He's going to win one Super Bowl, and they're going to say, oh, but Lamar Jackson doesn't have 2 Super Bowls. If he wins 2 Super Bowls, they're going to be like, oh, but Lamar Jackson doesn't have 3 Super Bowls. Then he wins 3. Oh, he doesn't have as many as Tom Brady. He's not the greatest of all. It's like, when are we going to stop with this? The dude's a generational talent, 2-time MVP. He'll get his Super Bowl. I'll tell you that. But it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like you just said, it's always going to be the different narrative. If they win it this year, it's we needed Derrick Henry to win it.
Yep.
It's always going to be something.
The goalpost will always move.
Yeah, exactly. The goalpost will always move. But I think, like you said, he's that generational type player where if no matter what he does, there's going to be people who say it's not enough because so much is expected of him. It's gotten to the point he wasn't even supposed to be a quarterback in the NFL. He was asked to play wide receiver. All the narratives that we've heard over and over, he's a running back, and he just keeps proving them wrong. So it's just one of those things where it's a weekly thing. If they win today, he's still going to be the MVP front runner. And then I'm sure because the Ravens are on a bye next week, somebody will do something. And then we'll have a new MVP front runner.
Either that, or the voters are going to get tired of voting for Lamar, and they're going to be like, he just won it last year.
Well,
we can't. It's like what happened in the NBA.
Well, one voter didn't vote unanimously for Lamar because he felt that Lamar didn't deserve it, and that was a metric part of it. So people, they say they want to take out their emotions or opinions, but it's hard to do that. It's hard to be completely unbiased in it. And here's the last thing I'll say with this Lamar thing. I've told you guys all this. It's the reason why I like Lamar Jackson, or why I love Lamar Jackson, is not because he is such a damn good football player or that he's such a powerful leader for the community, for the team, for the fans. That's all fantastic. It really is. What more could you ask from a guy that no issues off the field, right? Knocking on wood, no issues off the field, wants to win, wants to play ball, and wants to do it for the city, right? The other part of it is this is a dude, if you're talking about living out the dream, American dream in this case, and in a place where he had to work his way to get a college scholarship, then went to Louisville, became the best player in college, and then he's getting told he can't do it. How much does it piss you guys off constantly, right? We get talked about, you can't do it. I mean, even in this circumstance, like we're starting doing all this, right? We're new to this. It's fresh. Started this show personally so I could work on skills. Then we created a group and a community started watching and we're going, well, damn, this is amazing. But I started this because people said I needed to work on my skills. I couldn't necessarily do this. That was the narrative for me. Hey, you just know baseball. Okay, great. But when I see someone like Lamar, and this is a different, but it's the reason why it's motivating. Mm-hmm. Everyone said that, yeah, you're not good enough to be an NFL quarterback. He goes, no, I am. I'm not changing my position. I believe in myself. I will prove it. Give me the opportunity, and I will prove all of you wrong, and he has. Lamar Jackson embodies more than just what his numbers are going to be. And I think that people do forget about that, of just how special his journey has been. And damn, man, he has now solidified himself as going to be one of the football greats. And we just had that clip with Ryan Clark talking about Cam Newton. He was spectacular. But Cam even says, Lamar, Shannon Sharp, those guys, when they talk about it, Lamar is the best dual threat already.
Yeah. Not close.
He's already the best. And he's just entering his prime. That's the crazy thing. So that's my little shtick on all that. Appreciate you guys. And if you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. And we're talking about this community. Don and Victoria are this is what we're talking about, community. Clap, Rocco. There we go.
There we go.
Clapping as fast as he was driving this morning.
Oh, man.
You're a good kid,
Walk
man.
into that one.
Got to slow down a little bit.
Slow down a little bit. But in all seriousness, thank you guys so much. The memberships, we're going to try to give you more and more access, specifically that baseball thing I was talking about. You might get more access to that if you are a Holy Shirts and Pants member starting next week. But all of that goes right back into making this product better for all of you guys. We want to try to make this a Monday through Friday thing, but at the moment we're Monday, Thursday, and when the Ravens play. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button. Fellas, we're an hour and 10 minutes away from the Ravens.
No, we're not.
And Eagles playing at 4:25, which will be another 3 hours after.
I was like, wait, what?
We're an hour and 10 minutes away from the 1 o'clock games.
Yeah,
that's what I meant to say. Hey-oh, hey-oh. We're having fun here. Yeah, we're good kids. I need a drink.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah, you might. You might.
Yeah. Give me a double.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You know what, guys? Also, happy Thanksgiving. It's the first time I've seen you guys in person since Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you guys out there. Maybe this was a good time to take just a quick moment, right? And maybe settle this debate here. We were going to have a little crush in it, but maybe we'll just have a little bit of a debate. Rivalries in pro sports, there is a hated bitterness between teams. You felt that with Cleveland and Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, whoever it may be. Again, Rocco says that, he would plant a flag at the middle of the field if it was that.
Who would be the first person to just take my head off? Player wise, if I tried to do that,
Nick
just as an
Moore.
opposing fan. I was going to say Nick, but I'm more afraid of Roquan Smith.
It's going to be
It's
Roquan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he probably would. Roquan.
Yeah.
But I still got Nick Moore. And by the way, guys, Pro Bowl voting is up. It's out.
Better vote.
And if I want you, put it on. I want you to vote for Nick Moore to the Pro Bowl here. Guys, put the votes out here. That would be something if Nick Moore,
Incredible.
because of the community pushing it. And Nick's an awesome guy. He's going to join us tomorrow for the show, breaking down what happened here in general. What do you got with you talking about today?
I also want to say something else about Nick Moore. Keep an eye on the cleats he's wearing today. He will be wearing Marine Corps Scholarship Foundation cleats representing the children of Marines. Check out mcsf.org. You can donate there. But for Nick's cleats, if you want to bid on them, they're sick. You could check out his Instagram. We'll have to pull it up later in the show. But you can go to NFL.NFLauction.com is the website. Correct me if I'm wrong there, Rip. And they're super cool cleats. Nick's wearing them, and they're just unbelievable. They got the Oorah on the side.
Hoorah,
They
baby.
got the MCSF on the back, the MCSF logo. It's really cool. And
it's incredible. And actually, if you can find that video or download it and put it in the Discord or something, we can play it. But My Cause, My Cleats, it's a fantastic cause. And Nick, why we bring him on, like we try to bring people on that fit who our community is going to enjoy and like. And Nick fits that. He cares about the people around him, and he wants to make an impact on others. Now, he might not be able to make an impact in the studio like he said he'd come down here, but we will get
one
Nick.
day.
Maybe this is the week. It'll be the bye week.
No shot.
Yeah, we'll see what you know what? It's a lot going on there, but we will see what happens. But guys, we will see what's going to happen here for the Ravens. Check that out for My Cause, My Cleats. But it's a big game, but it's not just the only game. And while we're looking at this whole NFL slate here for a moment, why don't we take a trip to Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Nice. Proud sponsor of the Ryan Ripken Show. They're an hour and 15 from Baltimore, an hour from Owings Mills. They're up there right across the border there with Maryland, Virginia, West Virginia right there. We did a live show up there. We're planning to do more up there, but officially they have been partnered with ESPN Bet, and that's going into the sportsbook up there. So we are excited to be doing work with them in the future. And if you guys aren't a Penn Play member, you should download the app. And if you download the app, you get a chance to win $100 in Penn Play. One, for depositing $10, you get $50. And then if you use the code PennBuilder, you get another $50. So check out the Penn Play app and ESPN Bet. We love our sponsors, Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races in West Virginia. Beautiful. Let's look at some lines here, guys. Hey, games earlier, Chargers, Falcons. That's going to be a tight game. And again, we're talking the AFC of what it matters, what it means early on. Chargers now are trying to right the ship. 7-4. They get a win. They're continuing to distance themselves for a wild card spot. Then that Pittsburgh-Cincy game, guys, that's the big circle. Cincy is favored by 3 at home, over and under set at 46.5. And as we know, Cincy's 4-7. A loss here, Cincy would have to be perfect, and it still might not be enough. This is a must-win game for Cincy. And for Pittsburgh, can you get that bad taste out of your mouth after Jameis Winston came racing in on the horses?
The
horses.
Prepared for battle.
They prepared for battle, Rock. How can you not like that man?
Because he plays for the Browns.
Well, he did it to the Ravens. If he's going to do it to Baltimore, he's got to do it to the Steelers too there, buddy.
Yeah. Wasn't great.
Yeah, and Alan, I was actually just seeing, by the way, we are planning to be up there in West Virginia. We're trying to get things situated, and as this opens up here for the future of this new unveiling, we're going to get up there more, and we will keep you posted, Alan, the next time we're going up to West Virginia. And actually, Hollywood Casino wants to give away some things.
It's always nice.
It's always
Who
nice.
doesn't like free stuff?
People like giveaways. And also, just like we do have giveaways that want to do more with our sponsors, Gridiron Golf with Steve. We actually got the brand new Gridiron Golf. Going to be coming your way soon. We're going to take those to the lots, though.
There's a brand new one?
There's a brand new one, not for you.
Well, all right.
Not for you.
It's not.
Okay.
Come on.
Guys, is there any other game that's maybe tickling your fancy in this 1 o'clock window here? The Colts, Pats. Yeah. You know? Vikings, Cardinals.
Vikings Cardinals could just be a fun game.
Could be fun.
That just could be a really fun game.
Could be a fun game. How about Texans,
Could
Jags? Be. Texans need to stop the bleeding. That division's struggling, but they just lost a home game to the Titans. They're going to Jacksonville, 3.5-point favorites. How about right down the road, the Titans playing the Commanders that they need to right the ship here. It was the feel good for the Commanders, and all of a sudden here, they've dropped, 3 straight?
Yeah, this could be an interesting game verse.
Yeah.
Titans. That could be really interesting just because the Titans are really good against the pass. And I feel like if they can just kind of go all out, Jeffrey Simmons and them stop the run with Brian Robinson Jr., it could be a weirdly tough game for the Commanders. Like you said, kind of one of those games where you want, if you're the Commanders, very important that you get the ship righted, because this is a game you should win. You should be able to go get. But if you lose, then pressure starts to creep on because you've lost 4 straight. Now suddenly it's not all sunshines and rainbows like it was early on. And so then you're kind of looking at things a little bit differently. You know, before people were like, okay, does this team have enough to make a little deep run in the playoffs, maybe win a game or two? Now it's more, okay, are we focusing on next year? What's the development like? So kind of one of those games, if you're the Commanders, where you should just be able to go and win it, get out. But if you lose, you start asking a lot more questions.
I'll be locked in to that. I think in the 1 o'clock slate, just looking at everything, obviously there's one game I'm going to be locked into, but I'm talking about as just a football fan overall. I think the Houston-Jacksonville game could be a really good one. And I think that CJ Stroud and John Mechie are going to connect early and often. Yep. And then, we'll see what happens. No, but in all seriousness, I think that's a game that could really go either way. I don't know why. Like, I keep having faith in the Jags week after week, even though I shouldn't when I see their matchups. And I'm like, oh, the Jags could win this game. It's easily winnable. But then, something bad will happen and they'll get blown out. But this game, to me, it could truly go either way. I don't see it being a blowout. But now that I said that, Rip, it's without a doubt going to be a blowout. We just don't know which way it's going to go.
Just never say the word blowout here on the show involving the Ravens.
Yeah.
Please, just never's going to be that way. It never is. But for other teams, maybe. Now, take out the 1 o'clock slate, besides the Ravens-Eagles game, we'll dive back into that here in a moment. The other game I got my eye on is that game in Buffalo tonight.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
With what? It's a snowstorm up there.
Insane.
29 inches?
Yes.
Right?
You saw the pictures from, what is it, Highmark over there? Yeah.
And some would say, Zach, that shit is bananas. Bananas. It is. Apparently, Brock Purdy's going to try to play this week. He's dealing with shoulder injury, not feeling good. That offense from San Francisco has been struggling. They need to win that game. And if they were to pull that off, that makes it very interesting. Again, the AFC, Buffalo would drop to 9-3, right? Baltimore, if they were to win, it gets a little bit murky. It gets muddy there. And even for Pittsburgh, if Pittsburgh beats Cincy, you're looking at that number 2 seed. It's going to get very, very interesting. I'm done saying the Chiefs they're going to win that 1 seed because they it's like in the cheat code with a video game where it's like XYBRZ or whatever you're going to do.
Grand Theft Auto Unlimited ammo cheat.
They have that on there. Plus they have like a ritual somewhere else where they're burning whatever that they're burning. Maybe it's old helmets. Maybe it's, you know what? Old jock straps. I don't know. But the reality is the Chiefs find different ways to win games where after a while, you're just like, I don't know how the hell they keep doing it, but they are. And the games are running less and less. So more than likely, Kansas City, unless they completely fall apart, they're probably going to be the 1 seed unless Buffalo runs the table. And Kansas City then would lose 1 game. I just don't see that happening. So, yeah, we need to figure out what the devil magic is.
It's incredible. It truly is.
Whatever,
I don't know how they pull it off.
Yeah, whatever it is, the Ravens need to try to find a way to match that with magic of their own, because it's like
14 straight 1-score games that
insane.
They've won. It's a record.
That ending last week, and I saw the explanations and everything, but I'm still baffled by how the game ended. First of all, to snap the ball there and to not be ready is one thing in itself. So that should be talked about more than it is. But then you look at the referee come in up top. This is the universal sign as a referee to kill the play. And just because that whistle didn't blow right away, he went up to his mouth with it and he tried to blow the whistle right then and there. And if he could have, he would have blown the whistle 5 seconds prior. So that should have been, to me, dead play, done. Call the penalty as it is, and then you go from there. But to let it play out and then to come together and say, hey, like, this is what happened. It was a shift. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think I could be completely wrong, but I've officiated high school football. You know that.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, we did forget about that.
I'll bring my stripes in, man. I'll bring that rule book in.
We should
tell you all you need to know.
You should. You and your dad get on here and get the rule book talking about sports.
I haven't even talked to him about that play, but it just baffled me.
So, but that, I think it goes to the motto here, and this is down the stretch. You are what your record is when you keep moving forward. And good teams find ways to win, and bad teams find ways to lose. I think that narrative sticks true. Let's use the example. The Raiders, bad team. Finding ways to lose games, that was one right there. You can say, hey, it could have been a dead play or whatever it could be. In the most critical moment, that happens, you lose the game. Go to Thanksgiving, where that cost Eberflus his job. Bad teams find ways to lose games. That whole situation, woof. But they also had the Hail Mary situation where that was malpractice again, 15 yards to Terry, then your own player's not ready, right? And then the tip happens. Luck, I'm a firm believer in this. You get more luck on your side when you do a lot of the things continuously right? And then, maybe those bounces will go your way. But if you're not a good team for a while, don't expect that all of a sudden, wow, we finally caught that break. Hell no, you don't deserve that break. You have done so many damn things wrong. That's what I'm saying about with the Chiefs. Now for Baltimore, they had some of those games early, but they have found a way to right the ship and they know how to win games. But it is still baffling to me. It has almost been a full season that Kansas City has gone with winning one-score games. And that is something to, whatever it is, we're going to figure out the voodoo here. And I'm not saying the Chiefs are a great team. I think that they're the most vulnerable that they have been.
Without a doubt.
But I'll tell you what, if you got to go to Kansas City and win the playoffs, they still have won the last 2 Super Bowls.
They're still the team to beat. We can sit here and talk about how, they're not playing great. Okay, this is the most vulnerable team. Okay, they're getting, this call, this going their way. Like you said, they are the defending 2-time National Football League champions. So until someone beats them in the playoffs, they are the team to beat. It does not matter if they don't look great. It doesn't matter what Mahomes' touchdown to interception splits are. It doesn't. If you can't find a way to beat them in the playoffs, it doesn't matter. They're the team to beat.
You know what's really going to piss me off? If another team other than the Ravens beats the Chiefs in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And the Ravens are able to advance to a Super Bowl because they take care of business and do their thing. And then the narrative, we talk about the goalposts moving here to here for Lamar.
Didn't beat Mahomes.
Didn't beat Mahomes.
For sure.
I can see the ESPN headlines. Stephen A. Smith in his purple suit now just talking his smack about Lamar got to the Super Bowl, but he didn't have to get past Patrick Mahomes. It's like,
of course.
Okay, let's pump the brakes a little bit.
Of course, that's exactly what it would be.
You know it, man. You can see it's inevitable if that does happen.
But that's the reason why people get, and I think Joe Burrow deserves more credit in general. I think he's a really good quarterback. But that's the reason why people would throw him above the categories. Why? It's because even though Joe didn't play his best game against Kansas City, they beat Kansas City in Kansas City to go to the Super Bowl. So everyone's going, he beat Patrick Mahomes, which besides Patrick Mahomes losing to Joe Burrow, his only other loss in the playoffs is Tom Brady. He's not playing anymore. Pretty good quarterback, by the way, from what I heard. And look, I know that people can say everything's are fixed. It's the Chiefs, they get all the calls. And yeah, some of them you go, man, shirts and pants. But at the same time, for the Raiders, run the football.
Oh my God.
Run the damn ball. Do something,
dude,
where you don't put yourself in a position to mess up. It's my biggest pet peeve with it. If you're down the stretch and you're in a position, do not have self-inflicted wounds. That was self-inflicted. So I digress. We'll see what happens. But what we do know is kickoff for the Ravens and Eagles is 4 hours and 18 minutes away. We got about 53 minutes here, and we're going to see what's going to be going on. We're going to open up, I think, the call-in lines here soon. What we think in 10 minutes, fellas? Yeah. We'll open up some call-ins. So why don't we right now, just for fun, let's look at some game picks that Get Up had up. We'll show the names, but you guys can just see where people are as we get ready. So, Zach, let's play that quick Get Up clip on game picks.
The Ravens going to win this one. Harry, I want to get your take on this one because if you look at it, Eagles 9-2. They were 10-1 at this point last year, and then they went on that collapse. Tell us why you don't think that won't happen again this season.
I think it comes down to not being able to guard A.J. Brown one-on-one with anybody in the Ravens secondary.
Ooh, how about that?
No, that's good. For me, I went with the Ravens strictly because this is a game where the Ravens sort of, like, who are you? There are moments where we know who Lamar is, but sometimes they forget that Derrick Henry is even a part of this offense, and so I want to see Saquon versus Derrick.
Huh?
I think everyone would love to see Saquon versus Derrick. Now, the one ace in the hole, we talked about it earlier in the show, A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
The Ravens do not have an A.J. Brown on their team. Most teams don't have an A.J. Brown on their team.
He's a physical specimen.
Physical specimen. Just a beast. But the Ravens do have some great playmakers. There are other skills, like if Devontae is going to be limited if he's active, right?
Yeah.
Zay Flowers, phenomenal pick for the Ravens. It looks like they got a first-round wide receiver that they really love. Rashad Bateman, then, too, another former first-round pick. He's coming up with big plays, right? Mark Andrews, I'll tell you what, guys. Marky Mark is starting to look like that guy.
Back.
I don't care what you say. That dude is still elite. I think that people underestimated what it was like coming back from the injury. He tried to come back early in the playoffs. And then he had that car accident earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to work through things. Plus, he doesn't have to be the guy anymore. But now I'll tell you what, when you need to play, it looked like Mark Andrews was the guy. In the red zone there, tight coverage, who's making the play? Marky Mark should have done an anytime touchdown for Mark in that game. And you know what? It's a tough matchup here. But again, who are the Ravens going to go to when they need to play? It's going to be Mark Andrews again. I think that's going to happen more and more as the season goes on. Are you shaking your head in agreement?
No, I'm shaking my head in agreement. No, Mark
yeah.
Andrews delivers like Amazon in the holidays. I mean, he really does. It's like when you need him to come through, he's there. He's there. So, yeah, that's all I got to say.
That's all you got?
No, I think
that's all you got?
It's not all I got, Rip. It's never all I got.
Is it? Give me, but I want you to give me everything you got.
Everything you got. Everything you got.
Everything you got.
Yeah.
Okay, now you can be quiet. Zach, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I kind of disagree with one of the sentiments that the Ravens don't have anyone that can shut down A.J. Brown. Marlon Humphrey is playing possibly the best corner in all of football when you look at it all. Does that mean he can single-handedly stop A.J. Brown? No. But I don't think anyone can stop A.J. Brown, especially if A.J. Brown wants to be the focal point of the offense this game. He can be the focal point and he can take over the game. But I think by using guys like Marlon Humphrey, by using guys like Kyle Hamilton, by keeping guys like Ardarius Washington over the top, that's the situations where the Ravens can really take advantage and have the advantage, I think, and all because, like we've talked about before, Devontae Smith being out. If he's out, it changes everything, because if you have to worry about Devontae and A.J. Brown, it's going to be a long day for the secondary.
And you know what here, though? How about Tre'Davious White coming over? And we're talking about you're finding something that works. Look, it might have not worked in L.A. He might not be the same player he was in Buffalo. But I'll tell you what, man, it looks like he's getting more and more comfortable getting with this Ravens secondary. And above all, guys, this is not a name that we've talked about. You mentioned Marlon, who also being in the slot, Marlon's done a fantastic job being inside. So I'm just curious what they would do with the matchups. But the ultimate chess piece, the guy that has continued to make his presence known, the team feels better when he's on the field. You feel like he can make a play. He can go up there and stop the running back. He can drop back and cover in the secondary as a safety, and he can go man-to-man with the guys if he has to. Guys, it's Kyle Hamilton. It's that jersey that you're wearing that you haven't washed in a year.
No, we've washed it now.
Okay, we've washed it.
We keep winning when
we washed the jersey. We washed the jersey. So in this case, Kyle Hamilton, man, boy, he's going to be counted on big time today. Big time. And you know what? He's feeling happy. His Notre Dame Fighting Irish got a big victory over USC. Now he's got to get a big victory for the Ravens over Philly. But you guys watch his press conference after they beat the Chargers. He was talking with Scott Van Pelt, I believe. He just looks like he is comfortable with being a leader. He is young, but now he has stepped up to go, hey, just like Lamar has been more vocal, we're seeing Kyle Hamilton being more vocal. And everyone looks to that dude and goes, man, he's on the field. We can win this damn game. He's going to make a play. We'll follow him. And Kyle Hamilton's going to be counted on. The one thing I'm curious about, though, you want to stop Saquon Barkley. He's one of your best guys coming up and making tackles. but he has really helped shape that secondary when he's dropped back. Yeah. It's kind of like that's where I'm kind of seeing what they're going to have to do. And Saquon Barkley is just as dangerous out of the backfield catching the ball. Yeah. And that's the other part of this equation.
I want to see a good old-fashioned slugfest, man. Like reminiscent of the old school like AFC North rivalry games. And I know, of course, the Eagles are in the NFC East, but these are two teams that are separated by what, like an hour 45, 2 hours, if that. The fan bases, they're gonna clash today. The running backs, I mean, they're two of the best, 1 and 2, literally, in football right now. You have the 1 and 2 rushing attacks. This has all the makings of a phenomenal football game at the bank today. And not only that, it should be in prime time. I wish it was. I wish there was a way. I know that, you're not going to put, what were the Ravens in prime time literally last Sunday?
Last Monday.
Last Monday. Yeah. Okay. So but this game, man, the whole world needs to see it is what I'm going to say, because some people might not get this game. They might be watching other 1 o'clock games like in the region. Sorry, 425. I keep thinking this is a 1 o'clock game. I'm sorry.
Audacity,
my bad. I'm sorry.
That high speed just jumbled your brain.
But this should be a primetime game. And we've talked so much about the Ravens, Kyle Hamilton, their defense, and we're talking about the Ravens offense right now. I want to touch on the two rookies in the Eagles secondary. I don't know if we talked about them earlier in the show, and that's Quinion Mitchell, and then you have Cooper DeJean, and those rookies have been playing fantastic this season. So those are guys, Ravens fans, if you don't know anything about the Eagles' young rookie cornerbacks, I mean, get to know them, because those are two guys that are going to be following around Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and other players on the Ravens offense today, and they're like freaking blankets. So Lamar's going to have to be precise. He's going to have to pick his battles. And the Ravens are going to win some and lose some, of course, but you're going to have to be calculated when you're going up against these guys, because they don't play like rookies at all.
This game, real fast, this game feels more and more like, obviously, you can say this for every single game, and coaches say it for every single game, but it really does feel super important today. You cannot lose the turnover battle. You cannot give the opponent extra opportunities, especially we talk about if this does get, Ravens multiple times this year have come back from 10-point deficits. Those teams didn't have Saquon Barkley. They didn't have the offensive firepower of the Eagles. You cannot rely on falling behind, getting behind, playing sloppy out of the gate, and then making up for it later, because this team will put you away. They get better as the game goes. So really, for the Ravens, you got to hold on to the ball. You cannot turn the football over. You cannot give the Eagles extra opportunities or free opportunities. And then, like we've talked about, you got to stop Saquon Barkley. You got to stop A.J. Brown. It's a tough task, but it's like you said, Rocco, this is why people want to tune in for this game, because it's a lot of really talented football players going at it.
And this is a slippery Pete. Appreciate you here.
Please.
This is a big part too for the penalties. And honestly, we're talking about giving teams opportunities. Penalties can be just as harmful as turnovers. And I think that we've seen it, right? And also, Zach, we talked about it after the Ravens-Charger game. That Brandon Stevens call being picked up, that pass interference, if that was called, it was 3rd and long. Chargers are in a position to score, and then the game gets tight, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Ravens, we know that they've had the penalties there. Penalties can be just as detrimental to the turnovers, specifically on the defensive side. Don't give Philly extra opportunities. And then on offense, you play behind the sticks too much. And Rocco, you mentioned the secondary that's not giving up a ton of big plays. They've really limited the big plays where they were really just flowing it last year, right? It was, you could do anything to that Philly Eagles defense. This year, it's a different story. So can't play behind the sticks. And on defense, don't give the Eagles extra opportunities. And one more thing for the Ravens side, guys. Kyle Van Noy is doubtful with his hamstring. Michael Pierce was not activated, and I saw some comments there, which just means he's not ready, right? Like they had an opportunity, but they're deeming him, hey, we not at least another week.
He'd be great to have back for this game,
It'd
though.
be
I wish, man, just like in the middle, fill it up. It's a big man.
Big man.
Yes.
Big man.
It's massive.
Big man. And you know what? If you guys are new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. Ryan Ripken Show. We do this live Monday, Thursday, and on Ravens Sundays or whenever they're playing. So we appreciate you guys tuning in. And yes, I got my Buffalo hat out right now. It's supposed to be fun on Sundays. We like to have a good time as well. And guys, I will say personally, I'm a little bit hurt because you guys know I root for the Buffs. My sister works out there in the athletic department. She went to CU. You know, she's been involved with the university for the last 14 years. If BYU had lost last night, CU was going to be going to the Big 12 championship. And I'm sitting there and I'm still awake at 1-something in the morning watching it. And Houston, they were just teasing me, man. Teasing.
So many opportunities.
And congratulations on your bet hitting for BYU 5.5, Zach.
Yeah, no, that was big.
Did you put any money on Houston, Rip?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
So you were financially invested as well.
Oh, when they were down early, they were down 14. I go, yep, I'm going to sprinkle something on there.
Yep.
Let's get the magic. I ended up watching a little TV show because I said, you know what, I'm superstitious. I'm going to go away from it.
Yeah.
I watched Lost. I don't know if you guys watched Lost. I was rewatching it. First season. Gets a little crazy down the stretch.
I haven't seen it. I've seen
well, it gets,
there.
Jamie and I have this debate. After season 4, she goes like, what the hell? For me, I like the show. I'm going back and rewatching season 1, but I did it because it was terrible, right? The game was terrible. So I went back, turned it on. I went, oh my gosh, 24-18. So I'll take blame. I turned the game back on then, and I was watching the last quarter and a half. And then Houston fumbles the ball, loses 30 yards. BYU scores the game-winning points, and that's all she wrote there. So now it's Arizona State versus Iowa State. No Shador and Travis Hunter and the Buffs going. At least Boise State is 1 win away from the Mountain West. You guys know I got family connections there. So all good. So we appreciate that. And you know what? Seeing this, Lost is nice. Yeah, Lost is good, guys. I really enjoyed the show. Great character development. It's like we're trying to figure out character development on this show.
Yeah, we truly are. Do you know Lost? I might give a shot. You know what I'm like hooked on right now? Don't mean to get into like TV shows, but Suits. You guys ever seen that?
I've
heard good things.
Yeah.
Very invested in Suits right now. So give that a watch after Lost, and I might flip-flop with you and watch Lost after Suits. Very good.
Very good.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man, it Lost also and Suits. These are older shows, like meaning they're not fresh out. They're relatively new, but they're
being like
last 10, 15 years,
Yeah.
right? Go back and watch it. And Laura, appreciate you as always, making sure everything's good. Hit that like and subscribe button if you guys like what we're doing. We appreciate you guys. What? This hat?
No.
What'd I do?
Nothing.
Oh, yeah. That's fantastic. I would pay to see if they put that on there. And I'd love to see you, like, your interaction with the cop, because it's one way of you describing.
There's a ticket. I brought it. I'm going to frame it. It's my first ticket ever.
Sugar.
Yeah.
All right. You know what? We love this. We love this as always. So I'm going to get the link in for our channel members first, right? That's how we do it here when we start our call-ins. Channel members, we're going to drop it in the community tab here momentarily. We want you to join and tell us what you're thinking about this game and what you got going on this Sunday, right? At the end of the day, guys, love football. One of the Ravens' victory here in Baltimore, but also it's having fun here, right? And this hat is very hot. This is not.
It's like a nice insulator.
It's an insulator, all right. That's for sure. Sorry, I'm trying to post to the community on YouTube. So for all our channel members, whammy. Guys, the stream link is active now. Post. Voila. It's in there for our channel members. So if you want to join for the live call-ins, it helps the channel out, guys, but also we appreciate the community here. So it's in the channel for our people that would like to join. We appreciate all of you guys. I know we have some best bets we want to get into down the stretch. I know, Zach, you have what do we consider that? A bag of
I have just
plays?
A lot of bets.
And you know what? Congrats to you, by the way, and your Thunder and Herd.
Yeah,
Very nice. Very
hell of a win last
Very
night.
nice.
Going to the Sun Belt Championship, the Thundering Herd will always find a way to break your heart, but somehow they pulled it off last night.
That seems like the story of your life.
I just couldn't. Like when they were down 17-0 in the biggest game of the year, it was very much like, yeah, it makes sense. Like get there and then just fail. A lot of drama going around Marshall. Coach might be leaving still, going elsewhere. So
who's coaching your team right now?
Charles Huff from Alabama.
Oh, shoot. It is Charles Huff. Did you guys have Doc Holliday like a while back?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was Doc before.
Right before Charles. Okay.
Yeah.
So forgot about that. Wow.
Yeah.
Good for you guys, man. Fun belt. I hope you win it all.
The Fun Belt.
Be
baby.
awesome.
You're a good
The
kid.
effing Fun Belt.
The effing Fun Belt. On a Philly special of all places.
Yeah, that was electric.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't believe it. When they took the court, I did have some choice words when the quarterback ran out to wide receiver on a 2-point conversion to win the game. I was like, this is why I was like, we're getting cute here. I was like, we're getting that work.
But
So
like,
it's okay.
what was good was, I mean, you were tied at that point, so you didn't need. It wasn't like to take the lead. I would have been worried. I would have been worried as hell if it was a different situation where you guys were like down one. It was okay, 2-point conversion here, and now our quarterback's going out. You guys, they knew what they were doing. They're good.
They knew what they were doing. Hey, you know what we're doing? The call-in lines are hot. And you know what? The first one I saw jump in, he's your favorite representative with Red Bull. And the more you know about Arkansas, that's what we got coming up here. The more you know with our friend Joe. Let's get Joe on the screen here. Joe, good morning. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, fellas. Rocco, slow down. I know you wanted to go fast to see my beautiful face, but just slow down. Okay.
They stopped me before I could get to Arkansas, Joe.
I mean, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Rocco's never been to Arkansas, though.
That was your first ever ticket?
First ever ticket. Never gotten a ticket before in my life. I've gotten a few warnings. Never a ticket. Also, never really been going that fast.
Oh,
that's actually, it might be.
First time you've been caught.
Yeah, first time I've been caught. Yeah.
Once a speeder, always a speeder. Thanks. Joe, talk to me. What do we got today?
All right. Well, for the game, Ravens win, close game. I'm saying Roquan runs back today.
Roquan runs one back today?
Yeah, pick 6 for Roquan Smith.
Oh,
okay.
Oh, Pepper needs new shorts right there.
Rocco, sprinkle on that.
Hey, now sprinkle it on Rocco. Defensive touchdown for Baltimore.
Sprinkles.
Sprinkle.
If I were to put like $10 on that and it hits and pays for my parking ticket, that would be the speeding ticket. That would be. I didn't get a parking ticket too. That would be the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah,
have you ever gotten a parking ticket? I'm surprised we didn't see.
No, I don't think so.
What?
My driving record was pristine.
Oh,
I'm telling you. Like, had never gotten anything before. Just a warning. Like, yeah, today was the worst day of my life.
Okay.
Yeah.
The dramatics there. All right, Joe, what else you got for us besides Rocco's dramatics?
2 things. One, I'll clean up the last one. No, there is no penalty for saying the state's name wrong. I had to look it up, but no.
Okay, thank goodness. I was worried.
Hauled off to jail for saying the state's name wrong.
Arkansas.
Yeah. And today we got a high school football fact. Since Zach had the Turkey Bowl, we have the Salt Bowl in Arkansas. It is between Benton and Bryant. Been going on for 50 years. I know that's not 104 years, but
light work.
Long time.
50. The way the battle started is the students from Bryant painted the Benton Panthers mascot pink in 1974.
Oh.
The Bryant school then retaliated and dropped a ton of pink marshmallows on the stadium on the football field. So they have been battling since 1974. The two cities, they hate each other. They really do. It's crazy. Like if you say you're from Bryant and you meet somebody from Benton, you're not going to be friends. Like they really hate each other. It's the largest football game in Arkansas at War Memorial. Been there since 2000 and gets 38,000 fans on average. With
wow.
75 vendors and tailgates for about 10 hours.
Hell yeah. So maybe we need to try to line up going to this game here. Woo. I would definitely be down there. I want to see how much they love each other down there.
Live show in Arkansas.
Live show in Arkansas with Joe. Hey, Joe, Matt wanted to know before we let you go. I mean, just you want to explain how you're a Baltimore guy. You're a Baltimore sports fan, man.
I was born and raised in Baltimore.
Yep.
When around Arbutus area, and in 2000 my dad got a job, moved us to California, I was out there for about 8 years, and Shannon and I moved here 17 years ago. So been in Arkansas 17 years in August. So
Well, look at you, man.
Almost caught the Maryland years. I was in Maryland 18 and before we left. So, yep,
Man,
been here
Joe, we got to get you back up to here, and we got to go down to Arkansas. So we're going to look for diamonds down in Arkansas, and we're going to go to the largest football rivalry, high school-wise, in Arkansas. Joe, we got to keep it moving because we got some people, but I'm glad you got your notes and you got your facts straight, and we'll see you tomorrow. Or maybe you'll see Zach on Kevin Zach Reacts later.
Yeah, back to tomorrow. Back to work tomorrow. So hopefully the notebook's in the truck. I have more.
Yeah, damn right. Get your
that
notebook, Joe.
Keep bringing it.
All right, Joe.
Love
appreciate you.
See you, Joe.
Good kid.
He's a good kid,
We're
man.
going to go to a Hogs game. Call the Hogs.
Call the Hogs.
Ooh, Pig Suey, baby.
Yeah, baby. You know what? Next on our list, though, we got Mama Laura joining us. We got to see if Mama Laura's got some picks for us as well. There she is. Good morning, Laura. How we doing?
For you? I might have some picks for you.
What you got for us?
Can you guys hear me okay?
Oh, we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. I mean, I won yesterday off of Michigan and Florida, so those were my picks for college football.
Very nice. Very nice.
Didn't get a chance to share those earlier this week, but I've been working. I've been busy, and now I'm coming down with a cold. So
no, Laura, no.
I mean, it's the Ravens,
obviously.
And I always just do straight picks. I don't do the points, so I have no idea what the points are. But just pick the Ravens. It's a sure winner.
I love it.
Because they're going to beat Philadelphia. Not a problem.
So what do you think about that game then? So you think it's close? You think it's a high score, and you think you worried cold weather game? You think it's going to be a little low scoring, or what's your insights? What's your gut tell you?
I'm going 23-20.
Okay. Woo. All right.
I'm going 23-20. It's going to be close. It's not going to be a lot of action until the end, of course, like it always is.
Always time.
So get some Pepto.
But I think it's just going to be a steady, good game. I know Jalen, for those Philly fans, he needs to do something, but today is not his day to do that. He can do that next week.
I agree like that.
So there's that. I mean, I've always got, I like to call them the command skins, because I missed the Redskins name, so I'm trying to throw it back in there somehow. So I'm picking the command skins over Tennessee, obviously.
All right.
And then I need some fantasy football help on one of my teams. Not any of the leagues that I play in with any of you people.
Yeah, sorry, Laura, about that last week.
CJ Stroud or Matt Stafford. Think how they both have really good matchups today.
I feel like Stroud versus the Jaguars is kind of.
But division game, and Stroud hasn't done his thing this year.
I've been out on Stroud.
Right.
He's my quarterback in my one league, and he's gotten me like 15 to 17 points, I guess, a matchup. And I'm looking for like 20 to like 25. Like we get up around like that level. Now we're talking, but it's just been, I mean, it sucks because his O-line really hasn't helped him out much, and he's been down. Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs is out for the season, but got to find a way. Got to find a way.
So who are you going with, Stafford? Or
I do like Stafford right now that Cooper Kupp is back. Puka Nacua is back, and then Cooper Kupp, and like those two together. Rams at Saints,
right?
In the Dome, or Stroud in Jacksonville and Duval division game.
Give me. I'm going to take Stafford.
I'm leaning Stafford too. I think
Dome game too.
I lean Stafford with their weapons. I think division game it gets a little crazy down there in Jacksonville. You're leaning Stroud though.
I'm gonna take Stroud. Just I think he dices up Jacksonville in like kind of a revenge game after what happened last week.
Love a John Mechie touchdown. That'd be nice.
Yeah, that's the big. So Laura, it's split. It just depends on which member of the Ryan Ripken Show that you actually like the most. Fair enough, right?
Wow, that's tough because Brad's not here today.
Wow. All right. You know what? We had a friend named Laura. We don't anymore.
At least Brad gets a mention for once.
We mentioned Brad to start the show.
He
Yeah,
gets left out a lot.
And then he throws up the Obama meme.
Yep. The hands up.
The hands up. The hands up. Where am I?
You have to remember, Brad turned me on to the grapefruit Deep Eddy that I'm enjoying today.
Boom,
and I found that Fresca that I used to drink a lot, Fresca now comes in little 8-ounce cans. So I can, have my little 8 ounce of Fresca with my grapefruit Deep Eddy vodka. And it is such a treat.
Fantastic. We love that, Laura. Well, hey, Laura, you enjoy work. Let us know who you end up choosing for your quarterback, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Always a pleasure, guys. Oh, what time is the show tomorrow? I know I'm getting ahead of myself.
3 p.m. 3 p.m.
3 p.m. tomorrow. Okay. And I'll be there.
We're working on a happy hour Wednesday hot stove for baseball, so stay tuned on that. All right?
Nice. Looking forward to that. Thank you.
All right, Laura,
have a great Sunday, guys.
You too. See, we love our community.
It's awesome.
And I love when Mama Laura gets to some victories on college football Saturday, man. Fires
great,
me up. But you got that
vibes
James Madison victory. Fantastic. All right, who we got next in the chamber here? He's across the pond. He's your favorite British Raven. He might be the only British Raven that you know, but it's our friend Nick. Nick, there we go. Hey, you know what? I'm fired up, man. Let's go. Nick, you're muted, though. You're muted.
I made a rookie mistake, but Rocco made the biggest mistake of this weekend.
Yes, he did. Yes.
Hello, Roadrunner. How are you doing? Meet me.
Beep beep.
What's up, man? Good to see you. I'm sorry I disappointed everyone with my erratic driving today.
Yeah, no, we're not mad. We're not
disappointed.
Sad. Just disappointed. That's it.
Nick was very upset. I felt bad. I was very. I just don't want to disappoint Nick.
Well, you already did.
I'm sorry.
You're a danger to society, man.
Did that disappoint you? Did that disappoint you more than finding out that I was a Steelers fan?
No, because that just indicates you got a little bit of brain damage going on up there.
That's fair. That's fair.
Love it.
And that actually makes me hate you less. So
listen. See, we can get along.
It's a Catalina wine mixture. You're crushing it, but it's just something about your face. You know, if you don't fix your face, I'm gonna fix it for you.
Yeah,
Ron.
I know.
Yeah. Pow! 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 Hey, Nick, what do we got then? What do we got? I know it's at least the Ravens aren't going to be playing so late, so you can somewhat have a decent, sleep schedule this week.
The sleep schedule's gone. The sleep schedule's been gone since April. So
throw it away.
Yeah.
Throw it away. Well, talk to us. What's on your mind for this one?
You know what? All I want to see is the Ravens play clean. I said this last week. It kind of happened. We kind of played a little bit cleaner, but Patrick McCarry still did Patrick McCarry things on that O-line.
Yeah.
That needs to go.
Yeah, I completely agree. Completely
get it gone. Put it in the trash can. Put it in the turkey's ass. Get it gone.
Put it in there.
Turkey's ass.
Put it in there, and that is considered stuffing.
Oh man,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Sure, Rip. Yeah.
Everybody's favorite is getting rid of the Ravens' penalties.
Yes, I think that's the biggest thing right there. Is we talked about it. That's why I made the comparison to turnovers. Right? Turnovers are costly, but penalties can have just the same impact, especially the amount of penalties that the Ravens have had. That Raiders game, and I know people can say, wow, the refs are being very picky on some of the calls. The reality is they were called. And the reality is in other games, the Ravens have had penalties that have killed drives. So it's just a good thing to know. It's a good thing to understand. I'm right there with you. And a good team, a good offense. I don't want to see Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown get an opportunity to make a big play if they get one more chance. I'm right there with you. So you think, I saw you say earlier, it's that cold weather. It's going to feel like a ground and pound, tough game.
Yeah.
Are you thinking it's going to be low scoring? It's over and under set at 50.5 at this moment.
See, I don't think it'll be particularly low scoring because it's against two very good running backs.
Mm-hmm.
So it will depend on how the game is played between the lines. So if both lines of scrimmage are absolutely shocking, then it won't be a high scoring game. But if the lines on both sides play well, we'll probably see 1 or 2 points in it, maybe even 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm really curious.
That's how I feel.
And it should be what I'm very interested as well. With the Ravens having Michael Pierce not playing, and with in general what's going on, the Eagles have a really good defensive line, right? Like, and I know people will say, "Oh, they're overrated." Hey, you know what they talk about all the time? It's a good defensive line. I don't care. They get the credit because they do have pieces, right? So it's whatever. Who's gonna stop the run the best? It's gonna be very interesting. And if Saquon runs wild, Eagles probably win the game, and vice versa. If the Ravens run the ball like they did last week, they're gonna win the game. So it's going to come down to who can execute the best. Sorry, Nick, I'm a little distracted because I got some jackass that's just – it's tough.
Well, now.
This is ridiculous.
Well, now. How does he even have a key to the building? It should be like that meme.
He doesn't have a key to the building.
Who let him in?
That's
Sadly,
a whole different thing.
Sadly, it was me.
No, we're not proud of it.
Yeah, it was my bad. That's all.
We're gonna
you know where he pulled that out of, though? He pulled that out of
the
his
turkey's
ass. No,
come on.
Not even the turkey doesn't even deserve it.
That's all right.
That's not even nice. That's not even doing justice to the turkey. Nick, we need you in studio here. We need a replacement. Actually, need you to meet Rocco in the hole here with that helmet. And it could be a targeting violation. It's not, in the NFL, it's fine. Right now, I guess it's not in the NFL. Can't target.
I would absolutely do that for you and for the community. I wouldn't take one for the team. I'd take it for the team.
Listen,
I would absolutely destroy this.
Nick, if we can raise enough money for my speeding ticket, then I'll absolutely do that. But if it only
oh my God.
Well, the $200 wouldn't even pay for me to get on the plane.
That's fair. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
unbelievable,
man. Hey, Nick. So final score prediction for us. What do you got here?
Give me 33-14.
Woo! Nick.
I like that.
I love you, man. Why the hell do we think there's going to be blowouts every time?
I wouldn't say a 2-score game is a blowout. I've given them
That's
2
a
touchdowns.
3-score game. 33-14, Nick. You're saying we're taking them behind the woodshed.
It's a 19-point game.
It could well be Old Yeller.
But okay, you said that.
I'm not saying the B word. That's illegal.
You said that versus the Bengals.
Yeah. They've won, though, at least.
Oh, Nick, you're hurting me. You're scaring me, man. But don't say the B word.
I'm going to keep predicting it.
Hey, you know what I do love? I love your confidence. I love that.
Be confident.
You know what? You got a hat on. I'm putting this back on.
If you go into a game feeling like completely out of confidence, then that's just going to show. You have to be confident. And you
got to want to hit him in the mouth. Like, I want to go and hit Rocco with a nice form tackle right underneath the chin.
Yeah, definitely. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Please.
Oh, man. I love also that I saw Steve right in there about we love the accent. Nick could be an American. Are you going to star in any films anytime soon? Are you going to do any skits?
I haven't turned up in any movies anytime. And I don't plan to.
You should, man. I'll tell you what.
It's easier for an English guy to do an American accent than it is for an American guy to do an English accent.
I don't think I can even try an English accent.
Go for it.
I can try it. I don't want to.
Come on,
yeah,
man.
try it, Rock.
Go.
Come on.
Tuesday, ain't it?
With it. Oh, that's painful, man. I need to get me some sweet tea after hearing that.
Oh my God.
Man.
What if Nick's not even British and he just like puts on the front?
What if he's Australian, actually?
What if he's
put
like,
another shrimp on the bobby? What if it's one of those,
What if we're saying across the pond and he actually lives like across the Mississippi River?
See, I would much prefer to be in America because then I'd have a better sleeping schedule.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Hey, and Coach Kai's right. We need Nick out there to go stop the run.
Absolutely.
Hey, we got Kyle Van Noy out. Michael Pierce is out. But British Raven, Nick is ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, I think I'm good for one play, but thereafter I'll be on IR for the rest of the year.
Yep. You know what?
Just make it
This could be like a real life Rudy moment for Nick. We get him over here. All the Ravens players like lay their jerseys on the table. We put them in for a snap. Then they're good to go.
And then we carry him off the field.
Then we carry him off the field.
Boom, baby. All right, Nick. We appreciate you. 33-14. Ravens win. I'm sweating already thinking of that. But we appreciate you. And we'll talk soon. Hopefully, we'll be reacting to a Ravens victory. And hopefully,
we'll be reacting to a Ravens victory. We will.
Steelers lose and the Ravens take over first place in the AFC North. That is everyone's hope here in the community, in the studio. That's all what we want. So, Nick, appreciate you, man.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me again. And Fuck Rocco.
Absolutely love
baby.
it. What a way to end an absolute legend.
That's just great,
great.
man. That's just great. Well, guys, we're getting close to wrapping up. If you're new to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. That was our channel member call-in, so we appreciate you guys. And Nick, you know what I love about with Nick? Again, he found our group, found our community.
Awesome.
And again, we joke about being across the pond. The dude loves the Ravens, loves the Baltimore, the community. And this whole thing, like, this is how great our people are, is that this makes the experience. This is what we're trying to build. We're trying to build a place where people can feel comfortable joining over and over, and sports are supposed to be fun. We try to make it entertaining, but we also try to give you some facts. And Matt, welcome to our community, by the way.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Matt. And I'm sorry, hopefully you didn't lose after, or unjoin. Lose. I'm sorry, I'm rattled. Rocco just pulled out that hat on me. It was tough.
Well,
pulled it right out of his ass.
Bring the terrible towel and a Trip Palomalo jersey next time.
If you bring that in on set,
I'll do it. Don't tempt me with a good time.
You know what? Last thing here before we get out, I think it's a good point. And thank you again, Coach Guy. I appreciate you. We're all about people helping people, rooting from Louisville, Kentucky. We got people all around, and we cover baseball, right? We talked about that. Mondays and Thursdays are going to be a lot of football. Wednesdays is going to be our baseball talk, and we'll get baseball for spring 2025, and it'll be rocking and rolling. But it's big football time right now. And Shekel, I'm sorry for your Dolphins. I know you're a Fins fan. Josh Jacobs for MVP. Fellas, the running back value is the highest probably it's been when you look at what's just happened this offseason. Free agents.
Yeah.
Look at the teams where they left. And I'm not saying they would have had the same success because the organizations were struggling. Giants and Saquon, he wasn't going to be the same Saquon on the Giants. But I'll tell you what, right system, has he been a game changer for them? Yes. Has Derrick Henry been a game changer for the Ravens? Absolutely. Josh Jacobs has really changed the feel of that Packers offense, and he has been sensational. And correct me if I'm wrong, I think the top 3 rushers in the NFL are Saquon, Derrick, and Josh Jacobs, all free agents this past offseason.
What was the biggest, I guess, narrative in the offseason was that, running backs, or it's been the last couple of years about running backs and their shelf life and how they shouldn't be getting as much money as some of these other skill position players. Well, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, and we want to throw Josh Jacobs' name in there as well, but I'm going to say the top 2 guys right there, they're continuing to change that narrative of, okay, these guys shouldn't get paid as much money as they are. You put Saquon Barkley on the Eagles, they turned into a completely different team. And this is a team that went to the Super Bowl, 2 years ago? But you add Saquon Barkley into the mix, and that dude is a game changer. You add Derrick Henry onto the Ravens on their offense, and it was like, this guy's the missing piece. That is what a good, talented, top-of-the-line running back can do for you. And I'm tired of this crap that, okay, we're going to kind of ride a running back for 3-4 years and then get rid of him when his contract's over, just like throw him to the side. It's ridiculous. It's like these guys can play the game at a very high level. Yes, they're getting hit a lot, but like dudes that are built like machines, Henry, Saquon, it's like those guys are irreplaceable on an offense. So for the Giants to let a Saquon Barkley walk, the dumbest thing that franchise could have done. And I'm sure they've done some dumb things over the course of the franchise. And for the Titans to let Derrick Henry, maybe it wasn't working out there anymore. But it's like those are guys you hold on to for as long as you can, and you get what you can out of them, not let them walk in free agency and walk for nothing at all. So, for the Titans and the Giants, they're shaking their heads. They regret what they did, but Derrick Henry and Saquon are in better spots now, and hopefully this can continue to kind of pave the way for running backs going forward to get paid big bucks.
I hope so. There is a value there. You can't undermine what they have done for these teams. And for the Ravens and the Eagles, 2 of the best right now statistically are going toe-to-toe this afternoon, 4:25 in Baltimore. Should be a fantastic game. Before we get out of here, guys, let's get our best bet for this Ravens game in general, if you got one, or maybe fun bet, make you think about it. Zach, if you want me to go first, or you got one?
You go first. You got one?
I'm going to stick with this one where I did it last week as far as overall. I like the Ravens It was at 2.5, but now it's up to 3. I'm still fine. Ravens -3. I think that they do win this game. I think they at least win by 3. I think it's in that 3 to 7 range. Yeah. I think they win by 4. I think it comes down to they got to make a stop, and they're able to hold off the Philadelphia Eagles. So my best is going at that line -3, sitting at 104. I would love to say Mark Andrews for a TD, but it's going to be a tough matchup there. And I saw some people say maybe Deontay Johnson sprinkles in and gets his first touchdown in Baltimore. Maybe. But Zach, what do you got?
I'm going to Mark Andrews over 30.5 receiving yards. They're still too low. Mark Andrews is back. I think he's really back to being Lamar's safety blanket. So when the going gets tough, Lamar's finding Mark Andrews. I think he has another nice game.
All right. Rock?
I can't find the numbers right now for it, but I would take whatever the Ravens have line-wise in the first half. I'd take it, and they're probably favored. So I don't know if that's -2.5 or -3.5. Like I don't care. I think the Ravens are going to come out and make a statement early. Now, what scares me with the Ravens in games like this is the second half in those fourth quarters, because you truly never know what's going to happen. And as a fan, you're sitting on pins and needles. Like, okay, we need to stop here. Okay, we need a couple first downs here from the offense. So I like them to come out, make a statement early, and say like, hey, like we're the big dogs in the National Football League right now, not the Eagles, and take care of business early on. Now, what happens in the second half remains to be seen, but I think this is a Ravens victory altogether.
Ravens are 1.5-point favorites in that first half, by the way.
Give me it. Hammer it.
Hammer it, baby.
Hammer.
You know what? I'm excited, guys. I appreciate it. I'm seeing Nate saying Nate Wiggins is going to have his first NFL interception. Is going to be a pick 6. That's bold there. And you're saying 31-27, Steve. I'm seeing Shekel, you're saying Ravens beat the Eagles. Matt, you're saying 23-20 Ravens. Tucker shows he's still the GOAT with a game winner.
Ooh. I would love it.
That would be fantastic. So we'll see what happens there. And we got another one, 31-24. We're saying the over's hidden.
Everyone's
That's what we're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
I like it. Guys, I think this has been a success today, minus Rocco being a danger to the society in the New Jersey Parkway. But overall, good.
Same thing.
But we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, if you're a new member to the channel, hit that like and subscribe button. And for our community, as always, we appreciate what you guys bring to the table. You know, I'm excited about what's happening.
Whoa.
Oh, you didn't see that coming.
That just scared the hell out of me.
Good. We're turning up in here as we go. Why don't you cue our music on the way out?
Listen, John Mechie, baby.
As always, here at the Ryan Ripken Show, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Enjoy your NFL Sunday 1 o'clock games are coming your way in 10 minutes. And enjoy the Ravens, Eagles, 425. Stay warm, stay energetic, but have a great stinking Sunday. And we'll be back tomorrow for a brand new episode of the Ryan Ripken Show.
Pay my speeding ticket.